So I mean, it's not just America, like, but it's the propaganda was deeply laced. Um, and clearly all across the world, if you say crack baby, crack fiend, crack pipe, they're going to see a black person.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason for that. So I thought that was a powerful choice. Years later, as an adult, rewatching the film with that in context, that was a powerful choice to not show that. That wasn't the aspect of what he wanted to show. It wasn't the story he wanted to tell
Right.
on this one day. But he covered so much stuff. You're talking about, climate change,
Yeah.
the cornermen discussing the polar ice caps melting,
Right.
and you're talking about immigration
Yep.
and race relations amongst different immigrant groups. You got the cornermen being pissed off that the Korean family has a store and they've only been there a year.
Mm-hmm.
Two different immigrant groups have beef and all of that. Up top, that's the type of stuff that, see, there's a reason why those two groups are at each other's throats. There's enough resources for everybody if one group isn't hoarding all the resources and making it hard for the guy sitting on that corner to open a store or whatever they're going to do. But
Right.
also, to the point of that conversation, are they going to open the store?
Right.
Or are you just pissed because somebody else did it and you're sitting here on the corner drinking a beer? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's been in the neighborhood and knows those guys. They might not always be in the corner, might
Right.
be in a barbershop,
Yep.
depending on where you live in the country.
Mm-hmm.
In the South, those guys are usually in the barbershop.
Yeah.
Usually,
Or sit on the stoop, sit on the porch,
or they're on some porch.
Yeah.
If you live in a neighborhood, you're like, oh, that's old Mr. So-and-so,
Right.
or you might catch them in different spaces. I encountered a lot of those types of guys, depending on where we lived, in the barbershop, go to get a haircut.
Mm-hmm.
Guys in there who've been coming in there because, that's where they come and sit rather than
social.
Yeah, it's the social hub, right?
Yeah.
And I was clearly old enough to go to a bar because they probably weren't there too. But you know what I mean? Like there's the generational gap is being discussed. You got those kids uh going at the mayor.
Yeah, Ahmad and them. Ahmad and Martin, Early Martin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, in his first feature film.
Yeah.
And then you've got the mayor's place in the neighborhood versus another elder and mother's sister,
right,
who is that figure who's watching everything all the time.
Yeah.
And they have an antagonistic relationship, even though, maybe they don't really have an antagonistic. What happened that wasn't explained to us? How long have they known each other?
Exactly.
And
backstory.
Their antagonism.
Yeah,
sure. The pizza parlor's place in the neighborhood. Mookie and his relationship to his sister, who has, I guess, a regular job, and she's like, "Yo, when are you gonna get a real job?
I got a real job. I got a real job.
I'm getting paid. I'm gonna get paid. Mookie having a child, and his child's mother living with her mother, and that being antagonism between her and her mother because she's got this,
and her being Latina,
and having this black baby
on film, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and him coming around to get some loving, but when are you gonna come around and see your kid? When are you gonna make that right? There was so many, and keep in mind, he's supposed to be a young dude.
Right.
He's not 30.
Right.
He might be in his early 20s, maybe.
Yeah.
What I mean? And then the other kids that are antagonizing the mayor, they're clearly a little bit younger than him.
Right.
Radio Raheem doesn't have any dialogue except when he goes to get the batteries, but he's an imposing presence. He's one of the guys in the neighborhood like, oh, that's who, you don't know him? That's Raheem. That's my guy.